besties? Welcome back or welcome if you're new. My name is Kyan and this is Kyan is Booked. Welcome to episode 5 of On Wednesdays We Read Pink, which is a nod obviously to the OG Mean Girls, but with a twist because we love a pink cover. So I am attempting to read 3 books for this vlog. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, this is supposed to go live next week. So I have about 9 days to get my life together and do this. So, and also too, it's the end of the school year. So is she okay? We don't know. Anyways, in this vlog, I thought it would be fun to choose 3 authors that I've never read from before. So this is a very specific vlog and I'm pretty excited about it. So the first one is going to be, the book I'm going to read is going to be The Soldier by Grace Burrows. And I don't have the synopsis right in front of me. But this is a historical romance and this is early on in her backlist. And kind of this series like splits into a lot of the modern day series that she's working on right now. So I'm really excited to read this one. She's been on my to read list for a while now, so really hyped to like kind of get to her books. Then I know this is going to be like shocking to a lot of people, but I've never read a full-length Ali Hazelwood. So I read her like 50-page book when Amazon did those shorts for Christmas, but like I really don't think that counts as like reading Ali Hazelwood. So I get it, reading, like it doesn't matter. Well, anyways, so I'm going to read a full-length novel from Ali Hazelwood, and I thought Love on the Brain would be a good one to start with. My library puts the barcode right over the synopsis on the back, though. So let me see if I can find it somewhere else. No. So what would Marie Curie do? If NASA offered Marie her dream neuroengineering project, she would accept without hesitation, duh. But the mother of modern physics never had to co-lead with Levi Ward. Sure, Levi has soul-piercing eyes, and sure, he caught her in his powerful corded arms like a romance novel hero when she accidentally damseled in distress on her first day in the lab. But Levi made his feeling towards Bee clear in grad school. Arch enemies work best when employed in their own galaxies far, far away. Interesting. Now her equipment is missing, the staff ignores her, and Bee finds her floundering career in somewhat of a pickle. Perhaps it's her occipital cortex playing tricks on her, but Bee could swear she could see Levi softening into an ally, backing her plays, devouring her with those eyes. And the possibilities have all of her neurons firing. But when it comes time to actually make a move and put her heart on the line, there's only one question that matters. What will Bee do? Okay. So like, not second chance, but also to like enemies to lovers. Okay, we can work with this. So let's see. How crazy am I? So this is gonna be 350 pages. Okay, that's not too bad. And then also shocking my audience for this specific episodes. I know it's been a wild ride so far for We Read Pink, so I'm gonna continue that wild ride because I've never read Emily Henry before. So I'm gonna read Happy Place. Because this is about pink cover as you get. And I don't know what this is in order of publication. Is this her first one? It looks like it. Okay, so on the list right here, it says titles by Emily Henry and Happy Place is listed as first. But I don't know if it was her first ever novel. So like, don't go around being like, oh, well, this, she said. Girl, I ain't say anything. All right, think of your happy place. Harriet and Wynn have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobster and rolls. Except now, for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 5 months ago and still haven't told their best friends. Which is how they find themselves sharing a bedroom at the main cottage that has been their friend group's yearly getaway for the last decade. Their annual respite from the world, where for one vibrant, blissful week, they leave behind their daily lives, have copious amounts of cheese, wine, and seafood, and soak up the salty coastal air with the people who understand them most. Only this year, Harriet and Wynn are lying through their teeth while trying not to notice how desperately they still want each other. Because the cottage is for sale, and this is the last week they'll all have together in this place. They can't stand to break their friends' hearts, and so they'll play their parts. Harriet will be the driven surgical resident who never starts a fight, and Wynn will be the laid-back charmer who never lets the cracks show. It's a flawless plan, if you look at it from a great distance and through a pair of sunscreen-smeared sunglasses. After years of being in love, how hard can it be to fake it for 1 week in front of those who know you best? I mean, obviously they have to get back together. Okay, but if I read back here, this is her 4th novel. Because it says best-selling author, book lovers, people who meet on vacation, and beach read. Anyways, I don't care. First, fourth, doesn't matter. Gonna be my first Emily Henry, and I'm really excited to pick up this one. So yeah, that's the theme of this month's vlog. We are going to be reading authors that we haven't read before, but have been on our list for a little bit, and potentially very popular ones. Grace Burrows has a very extensive historical romance backlist, and then obviously Ali Hazelwood and Emily Henry are incredibly popular. So I figured it's probably about time I see what all the fuss is about. I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm hoping this is a really successful one because last month's was super successful. So I'll definitely link that for you because I had a time last month, but it was like a really good time. Anyways, so I don't know which one I'm going to start with. So in my next update video, you're going to find out the same time as I do. Be like a little surprise. So I'll catch you then. Okay, besties, we're kind of against a time crunch right now. So I should have started this a few minutes earlier, but I had to shower and like get ready and all that kind of stuff because I'm obviously going back to work tomorrow. So I'm filming this on Memorial Day, and this is probably the closest I've ever cut it for On Wednesdays We Wear Pink. But I'm gonna make it happen. I'm listening to the audiobook of The Soldier by Grace Burrows right now, and I'm about like 49%, 50% into that one. Haven't started Happy Place, but I have finished Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. So this is my first ever Ali Hazelwood book. Never read her before. I've always been like worried because like, you know, the stigma of people being like traditionally published and it not giving what you want it to give as somebody who reads like primarily indie books. And then she got so popular so quickly that I was worried that I wasn't gonna like understand the hype of her books. And then I was gonna be the one person that just like didn't like Ali Hazelwood. And I didn't want that to be me. But good news, 5 stars. I read this in one sitting and it was 354 pages and I loved every minute of it. So this follows B, and we only get it from her perspective, but she is a oh my gosh, why do I not? This is why I try so hard to do things like right as I think of them. She's a neuroengineer, and she's been offered a job by NASA, like the space company. And essentially what they're trying to do is create a specialized suit for astronauts to go out into space, and they need her because she understands the neural pathways and like how to build it so that it's most conducive for the brain. The only problem is that the other engineer on this little mission of theirs is Levi, and Levi's like her arch nemesis. Like they met, I believe, in undergrad or grad, and he's always just given her like the impression that he can't stand her and he doesn't want to be around her, and that she's actually like not worth his time or whatever. So she started like trying really hard to like make sure that she doesn't that she doesn't like cross his path or anything like that. However, like a job at NASA is it's huge for your career in any field. And she's like, I have to do it. Like, I'll just figure it out. Okay. So there are like a lot of ups and downs with this, and I don't want to go too far into it because this ends up being a passion project for Levi because it was one of his friend's creations, and there's a lot of politics that happen. So like her equipment's not there, and she feels like Levi's trying to like set her up and anyways, as I'm sure you've guessed, and this is not going to be a spoiler, I don't think, like there's obviously some tension and all of that. It says right here, she can see Levi softening into an ally, backing her plays, devouring her with those eyes. And the possibilities have all of her neurons firing. But when it comes time to actually make a move and put her heart in a line, there's only one question that matters. What will B do? So obviously, like, we know that this is going to be a situation of like enemies to lovers, right? And number one, I love the STEM representation. I know Ali is like very popular for this. So I love to see that. Number two, the longing in this book. I don't want to spoil it. I want this to be spoiler free, but we learned so much about Levi throughout all of this, especially as like they slowly start to become friends and as they slowly start to like understand each other better, I think is the best way to say it. we really start and begin to understand like how he's essentially longed for her for years. And when she got into a relationship with somebody and Levi couldn't stand it or whatever, it was because he cared for her and was in love with her, and not because like he didn't think that person was good enough for her, simply because like he didn't want them to be together because he wanted to be with her. But like there is a chapter where they're unknowingly messaging each other, and he writes this whole long thing about like how when she laughs and her nose like crinkles up, like it's one of his favorite things, and he knows the sound of her entering a room, and he's so attuned to her, blah blah blah, but you know, like she's never gonna want to be with him. I legitimately am obsessed with this, and like it was so incredibly good. Like I loved too, like when they started to team up and things started to get really good for them, and they started to be on the same team, and it wasn't the two of them against each other, it was the two of them against everybody else. But like I just keep coming back to the longing, and I keep coming back to the way that he feels about her and the way that she feels about him, and then coming to a head of, are they actually going to be together? Like, are they going to be able to sustain a relationship? Like, what does all of this look like? So I obsessed, right? Absolutely obsessed. I am currently listening to, like I said, The Soldier by Grace Burrows, and this follows Emmeline and Saint Just, but I actually want to get his like real name for you because that just feels like a fake name. I mean, it's not, like it's his name. So he's coming back from war, and he's trying to like readjust and everything like that. So this is a Regency series. Devlin St. Just, he's the oldest but illegitimate son of the Duke of Moreland. He comes back to take over the estate, but it's in disrepair, and it is not anything to write home about. And he's like, great, like there's so much work that I'm gonna have to do for all of this, blah blah blah. And then Emmeline Farnham is what do you call it, the cousin to a 5-year-old daughter, and this was the previous Duke's child, illegitimate from my understanding, and she's just been kind of running rampant, and Emmeline's been trying to do the best she can to care for her. So Devlin's like, well, like move in with us, like care for the child, be her governess until I'm able to find her a governess and all of that. Now, obviously, like they both kind of like are very attracted to each other, but like in this time, it's like hard to be intimate with somebody, obviously, because it's like looked upon very negatively. I am kind of struggling with the book right now, and it's been easier since I put it on an audio format because I'm working on some of my Montessori work right now. That's why you see all this stuff behind me. Is the thing that I find like the most interesting about all of it, and the thing I'm struggling with the most is just like how like I don't want to say old English, but like you can tell that like this is a historical romance, and it really leans into like speaking like they would back in the day, I guess is like the best way to say it. So like I've just been really kind of struggling with the like saying things really flowery, but like girl, just tell them how you feel type situation. So I am enjoying it. I don't know if it's the best representation because I did go back to like, this is one of like Grace Burrows' first series. So I did want to try out one of her like beginning books, but I think I'm going to go to, I think there's like a 12-book series that she has. And I think I'm going to go to that one and see kind of like if the writing style in a sense changes, or if like she's just very much like kind of like an old English Regency historical writer, which is totally fine if she is. But anyways, that's the update. I'm still hoping to have this done by Wednesday. We'll see if I'm successful. I definitely started this early, and then I don't know what happened. Oh, I know what happened. I got distracted by pirate romances, and then just never came back. So I actually have to log on for therapy. So I'm going to go do my therapy thing and then get back to it. So hopefully I'll have an update before I go to bed tonight. Okay. Ooh, jump scare. I thought my makeup looked better than it did, but it's been a long day, y'all. So you're probably thinking, wow, she's wearing the same shirt. It's the same day. It's not. Actually, I'm filming this video. Ooh, jump scare. Same day that it's supposed to go up, because I've had, I guess, like one of those weeks. So I'm a teacher, and we had our 5th grade moving up ceremony today. So I've been behind the power curve, and here we are. I'm here. We are going to close this out, which means, pause. I have not read Happy Place by Emily Henry. So this is going to actually be the first book that I read for June's vlog. So it'll be this one, and I'm pretty sure I can find another author. We'll do like 2 months where I read like new to me authors. I'm sure I can find another author with a pink cover that I haven't read before. So that'll be kind of fun. But I didn't get a chance to read this one. I am kind of bummed because I want to, so I understand why we like Ali Hazelwood now, right? Granted, I've only read one of her books, but my sister's read all of them, and I was like, loved all of them. And she's a big Emily Henry fan as well. So I kind of like want to understand the hype now. So we'll get here. But I'm here to close out The Soldier by Grace Burrows. So I didn't dislike this book. I'm giving it a solid 3 stars. I think that I set myself up for failure because I like historical romances, but I also like historical romances that, how to explain this? It was very heavy on the Regency, and it was in the synopsis, and it was in everything. So like that's why I'm saying it's like my fault. I like historical romances. I liked the story. I liked he's coming back from war. He's struggling with, what we now know as PTSD, but obviously they didn't know that. And, he's finding himself liking a woman, and the longing and the angst and like the ready-made family with him inheriting the previous owner's child, because that could only happen back in the day. Like, nobody gets like a manor and is like, oh, sick, like, I'm your dad now. Anyway, not the point. Also, too, I apologize if you can hear the thunder and the lightning going on, but before it gets dark outside, I need to film this because I thought my makeup looked better than it did. It doesn't, so we won't be filming any other videos tonight. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, back to what I was saying. So I liked our 2 main characters. I liked the story overall. I enjoyed all of that. It was just like so, okay, I think the best way to say it, and like I know I'm struggling to explain this to you, but it just felt really like uppity, which is the Regency factor, which is the old, kind of like the Old English factor with the everything is specifically said, it was specifically done, and protocols, and this is okay, this is not. It was just so heavy into what the olden times were, which is exactly what the book is marketed as, and I didn't think it was going to bother me. But I'm coming off of the Ever Afterthon, where I read an Elizabeth Hoyt, a Jennifer Ashley, and 2 Julie Garwoods back to back to back to back, right? And none of those books were like Regency style-esque. Yeah, you're right. Like, you couldn't have relations with a man and like it be socially acceptable, but they were still like the angst and the tension and the longing for each other, and like they spoke proper, but it was still like they were pirate romances. So it was still that aspect of like very common tongue and like, I'm a lady, but like also too like, there was a balance to it that I think was missing in this book for me. Like, it was all uppity, it was all hoity-toity, it was all like on that next level, on that upper echelon. And I didn't hate it. Like I said, 3 stars. I probably should have heeded the it's a Regency warning just a little bit more than I did. But I was like, oh no, it's fine. Like, I'm in this like historical romance vibe. Like, I've really been enjoying them. Like, everything's gonna be cool. And then I was like, oh, okay. So like I said, it's a great story. I really like their relationship and the building, and like the building to obviously like them being together. And I really enjoyed Grace Burrows' writing. So and she has a very extensive backlist. Like, she takes up a whole shelf and a half at my library, which is why I noticed her in the first place. So I am really excited to like continue on with her backlist, and like hopefully this series that I want to move to, I need to check, has like less Regency vibes and more of the vibes that I'm kind of looking for. Also too, I may have just screwed myself over because pirate romances, no matter what like era you're reading them in, very different than like, you know, just a regular contemporary. So I definitely could have put myself in a situation there of like where I've been reading so many pirate romances that like I was kind of expecting the same vibe, but I didn't get it, and that's okay. Like I said, there's some people out there who love a good Regency historical romance, and I love that for them. And if that's what you like I highly recommend this book. I just like, where were the arguments where like you actually said what you wanted to say and didn't give like the prim and proper response back? Like, where was the nitty gritty behind the doors like argument in the sexual like, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I wanted that. And like I said, maybe it's because I'm coming off with a pirate vibe, and they were always down to argue with their ladies, and they were like very possessive from the beginning and like knew exactly what they wanted, and like most of them had to like maneuver the female into like giving them the time of day in the first place. So those are just things that like I was thinking of. So like I said, I didn't dislike this book. I just think that it had an unfortunate time in coming after